Welcome back in to the Scramble Drill Podcast, Memorial Day special edition. We didn't really have an agenda for this episode, and, well, actually, before we even get going, we got the whole team here. We got me, Landon, even Josh on a Memorial Day was able to make it out. Boys, how are we?
I'm doing great. We had to do something a little creative with this episode to get Josh involved. But yeah, doing good. Excited. We're not talking just football today, though. We're going all over the map.
You know, this was your idea for this one, Landon. You texted me at like 8 o'clock this morning, like, you want to do this?
Yep. Yeah, this is a get to know you episode.
Yeah. So this is...
It should be a lot of fun.
Exciting. Yeah. Josh, how are we?
Boys, how are we doing?
Mr. History Man over here.
It's been a minute. What has it been? 6 months? Something like that since the last time we were all
Super
on an
Bowl.
episode?
You came on after the Super Bowl.
Did you do the Super Bowl?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
He did. After.
That's right. Super Bowl.
Yeah. That's
I've got my every 90
4 times a
days
year.
quota that I've got to hit.
Yeah.
And so here we are.
Josh is strictly just a producer at this point
Yeah.
on the show.
He is.
Yeah, there we go.
Landon, since this one was kind of your idea, I'll let you introduce the concept for this one. This is not an NFL news talk. There will probably maybe some NFL
There will
discussed,
be.
but it's not a what's happening right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's just not a lot. I mean, we could have talked a couple things, Rashee Rice situation, Aaron Rodgers, schedule release, but didn't really want to do
think about that.
So we are going to break down just these are personal things for us in our sports viewing lives. We are going to break down each of our 5 favorite sports moments we have ever witnessed, been a part of, remember. This is our favorite. Not what we think is the greatest, but our favorite moments and our 10 favorite athletes of all time. Any sport. Doesn't just have to be the NFL. And so this will be fun because I actually don't know these for you guys. I don't know your specific favorite moments and players. So I'm excited to get into it. I'm excited to say mine. So should be a lot of fun.
If people even listen to this episode, this show anymore, which I don't know if they do, they probably won't even know some of these moments. Like, they're not going to know some of these players because they are simply like, at least for me, when I was making mine, every moment that I put down, and I've got a ton of honorable mentions, which we can't go into that, otherwise we would be here for 6 hours doing this. But, like, I can remember where I was for every single one of these moments, who I was with, what my reaction was, what their reaction was. Like, I can remember the call on the TV of all, like, it was awesome. So that's what I did for these.
Yep. So excited to get into it. Excited to hear your guys. I asked my wife what she thought I would say, and she went 7 for 10 on players and 4 for 5 on moments. So that's pretty good. That's
not bad.
Yeah.
It's incredible. That means the marriage is working.
It wasn't the 2 kids that tipped you off. It was this.
Yeah, it was this. She knew my 7 of my 10 favorite athletes of all time. So. And everyone she named was honorable mention at least.
Yeah.
So we're doing all right. Anyways, let's get into it.
Yeah. So let's go top. We'll go 5-1 for each of them. And some of these, like, I don't even know if they are 5-1. I just like, these are my favorites. But Josh, maybe you go, and then I'll go, and then Landon will go. Let's do it that way. Josh, you're up. Number 5.
So I'll be honest, this is a micro moment more than it is anything else. It was one of those moments where you're sitting on your couch, you don't expect very much of anything to happen, and then something ridiculous happens, and you realize in the moment, that was a very special thing I just saw, something that probably people are going to be talking about in 20 years. But it was, there's a kind of a gap between number 5 and all the rest of the moments. So it's just one of those, let's put it this way, I guarantee you none of y'all are expecting this to be the moment. But for me, it was the Justin Jefferson catch in Buffalo to force overtime on 4th down.
18,
and
I think. I think it was 18.
What was it?
It was a long one.
Yeah.
20?
So cool.
It just goes over the head to make the catch. Just one of the coolest individual athletic things I've ever seen.
Like, I remember the instant comparisons
and
to
then
Odell.
I don't even remember what happened in overtime. It was just that moment. It was way better than the Odell.
Wow, that's
catch.
a hot take. Wasn't expecting.
I hate the Odell catch comparisons.
Yeah.
Well, here's why. It was better because it was a had to have it down. The Odell, I mean, it was like 2nd down. It was like a 40-yard pass in the first quarter or something on Sunday Night Football. Like, it was cool, But the reason people remember it is because it was on Sunday Night Football, and you've got Chris Collinsworth going, "Oh my God," So, but it was cool. It was cool, but it wasn't. And the Justin Jefferson catch happens in a 1 o'clock window on a Sunday. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that just saw the red zone highlight and then they were like, "Oh, cool." But if you were sitting there watching it, you were like, "That is one of the most insane things I've ever seen in my lifetime."
All right.
From one of the most special athletes in the
that
game.
would be number 5.
Absolutely. So Ben, are you going next or me?
Anything else you want there, Josh? Yeah, I'll go next.
Okay.
Mine, everybody knows this play. Everybody knows, but it was just a special, I guess, experience to be there watching it live. We had a big family get together where, basically we rented 2 beach houses. Everybody was up at the beach for Thanksgiving, both sides of the family. So it was really cool having everybody there, and we were all together watching college football that Saturday. My, I guess, step-grandmother and her family, they were Alabama fans, so when the Iron Bowl came on between Auburn and Alabama, we had to watch it, and then obviously all the Gamecock fans, we were going to watch Carolina versus Clemson the next game. So, I'm already in nerves because Carolina Clemson, massive rivalry. This is back in Carolina's heyday. Carolina's amazing. Clemson's also really good. So my stomach was in knots, ready for that game. But we're watching the Iron Bowl first. CBS, back when CBS still had the Iron Bowl. This is my favorite time in college football ever. College football sucked now. It was so good then. We're watching Alabama, Auburn. Everybody knows the kick six, tied up 28-28. The 1 second, TJ Yeldon's foot lands out of bounds. They put it back on the clock, and then he runs the kick back. Auburn wins the game that way. I just remember the experience of being there.
Game.
I'm already wound up. Auburn's going to win the football game. Chris Davis, he ran it back 109. It was the whole house just erupts. And just the tension building up to the Carolina Clemson game, and then having that much adrenaline and everything in the house, everybody erupting at the same time. It was just an awesome, awesome experience to be there, which is why it is my number 5 favorite sports moments of all time. I had no invested in the game. I didn't care if Alabama or Auburn won. It was just awesome to be there and see it and realize what's happening as it happens.
Yeah, that's
fun.
That's one of those where
that should have been my number 5.
I can tell you where I was too. I'm not even a college football fan, but I can tell you exactly where I was. I can tell you everyone who was there. That's one of those you don't forget, for sure.
Yeah, that was... I used to be... I've always liked the NFL, and I'm more of an NFL fan now than I am in college, and I'm a huge, huge NFL fan, if you've listened to the podcast, obviously. But back then, I was definitely more of a college guy, so those days, game days in college football when South Carolina was good, and I just miss it. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
Got to put those moments in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Landon.
All right.
What you got?
So I'll do my honorable mentions later. My number 5 moment, you guys know I'm a baseball fan, even more than a football fan. And baseball, it's about milestones and statistics and those things. So there were a lot of milestones I've watched live. A lot of people, I could have put Jeter's 3,000th hit. I could have put different people's 500th homer, 3,000 hit. But the biggest one I've ever witnessed with one of my favorite players ever, Albert Pujols' 700th home run, happened in 2022. I remember obviously where I was. My family was actually visiting me. I was living in South Carolina at the time, and we all stayed up. It was late Friday night, and he actually hit 699 and 700 in the same game. We were all about to go to bed, and then he hit 699, and we were like, okay, we got to stay up just in case, maybe. And he wound up hitting 700, which only 4 guys ever have done. I mean, in the history of the game's been around 160 years or whatever. 4 guys have ever done it. 3 guys naturally. So I always go back to that one as my favorite milestone moment of any player. One of my first favorite player, actually, Albert Pujols. I watched him since I was 6 years old, and then I watch him, 21 years into his career, hit number 700 when he's old and beat up and on his last legs. And that's something I always remember. I love the 700 home run from Albert Pujols. So
yeah, that's really cool. And again, it's another moment that you remember exactly
gonna
where
lie,
you were, why you stayed up to see it, and how you got to see it and stuff. That's
right?
cool.
It was Apple TV. I remember everything about it. I don't remember the guy's name, Bickford, Bickman, something, little skinny, blonde-headed kid from the Dodgers who got cut like 2 weeks later, but he gave up that homer, so he's in that highlight forever. So, yeah.
Yeah.
If y'all recall that meme where you have the two dragon heads that are, terrifying, then there's the one that he's retarded. I think that's what just happened with the number
Are you
5
saying
moment.
yours is the bad one, Josh?
All right, we'll go to number 4. We'll go to number 4, and maybe you can redeem it right here.
Mine sucked.
Yeah, impress us.
Okay. Number 4 for
yeah.
me was the
2016?
LeBron block in Game 7,
Yeah.
2015, 2016 NBA Finals. That was, the context of it, you get like the highlight play at the end of a game. You come back from 3-1 down. It was just, and I saw, that was one that I saw live. I used to watch the NBA Finals every year, and you watch for 10 years straight, and there's just not that many moments like that in a final series. So to have a moment when it's, the 73-9 best regular season team ever, then to come back with all the stuff happening, and also to get pretty much the game sealing block to win a Game 7, and the story of going back to Cleveland to do it. I mean, it's just, it's
maybe
one of the craziest
greatest comeback in the history.
It's everything
NBA
you could ever
Finals,
want.
3-1, 73, and it's just.
Sports.
And it's LeBron. It's the greatest player we have ever seen, right? A lot of people think Jordan or Kareem, but it's the greatest player we've ever seen. So, yeah, absolutely. That's a great one. That's a great one. Yeah.
It's an all-timer.
I like that a lot. Ready for me?
I'm ready.
I'll go number 4. Again, that's another play that everybody's going to know, but I remember where I was. I remember what had happened. It's the Minneapolis Miracle.
Dude, that's in my honorable
Stephon
mention.
Diggs from Case Keenum, 67-yard touchdown. I was actually in your dorm room when we were at college watching this. You weren't
I wasn't
there,
even there.
but it was like us and no, you weren't there. And but it was like me and a bunch of other of our like friend group were all there watching it. I remember like sitting on the end of your broken pull-out couch bed, and like that happened. Like we were all talking.
Yes.
Like basically had written the game off, and then like suddenly all of us like at once just spring up,
right,
screaming at the TV like it just as Stephon Diggs catches this, avoids the guy, runs down the sideline. Even more context, it was you and I had at that point we were both Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen fans.
Right.
So like I had a Diggs jersey, still do actually. It's on the wall back behind me. You had an Adam Thielen jersey. We would wear them like together on like every Thursday. So it was that whole experience, tying it together with that moment in an iconic sports moment, period. But the experience like from my end as well, it was just perfect, and I love that.
Oh yeah,
that having been there for that experience.
Yeah, I was heading back to college. I was in the Golden Chicken Easley, and Chandler Ragsdale was trying to rush me out of the. And it was like the last play, and I just stood in the middle of I was like, I'm just going to watch this. It's going to go to overtime, right? They're going to get a field goal, whatever, and I'll watch it on my phone in the car or whatever. And then Diggs sideline touchdown, and that's I didn't have a tie to the game, right? I wasn't like super pulling for either team, but that's the most my jaw was on the floor moment I've ever witnessed, because it was just like, he's either going to get tackled or get out of bounds, and we'll see what happens. And then he scores a touchdown. That was insane. Absolutely insane.
I love that moment.
It's so good. It's on my honorable mention. I've got it written down right here. Honorable mention. So that's great. That's great. My number 4 moment. Many of you, any listener knows how I always mention Drake May's my guy, but he will never be my favorite person in that family.
No.
Because his brother Luke averaged about 40 points a game against NC State, if you'll remember, Josh. For whatever reason. He killed NC State. But for whatever reason. But when he was a sophomore, he was playing like
can't forget
10 minutes a game. Wasn't even the star of the team or whatever. But in the Elite Eight, we played the Kentucky Wildcats. And that was the De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, and your guy Bam Adebayo, Josh, who you played against in high school. That was that Kentucky team. They were ridiculously good. Ridiculously good. And Luke May hit a game winner with, I think it was 0.9 seconds left after Malik Monk just came down and tied it. And we ended up going on to win the national championship that year. But he hit the shot to send us to the Final Four as he was like he was a backup. He was not even a real player. And then he went on to be a great player, but he was not at that time. But that was one of those, I had to record the game. So I was like blocking everybody, not looking at my phone because I couldn't watch it till later. And my brother and I watched it together, and it was just, it's tough to beat those moments. Tough to beat those to when your favorite team gets to advance because of something like that. That's awesome. And I will say, we're doing moments excluding like national championships and World Series wins for my favorite team. Like I didn't include those because those are obvious. But this is one that led to that, so this is definitely on my list. All timer.
That was an all timer.
Oh, Luke
any
May.
Carolina fan.
I celebrate every year,
instantly
March
like,
26th. I celebrate every year Luke May Day, and so Drake's great, but he'll never be Luke to me. Never.
Yeah.
Unless he gets traded to Washington and leads us to a Super Bowl, then we'll talk. But yeah,
I like it. Josh, number 3.
Number 3.
Wow.
This is a moment that I witnessed in person, and I think the best. Well, it is. No, it's the best sports moment I ever witnessed in person. Okay, so this is, I want to say 2012 or 2013. NC State's hosting number 1 Florida State at home. This is the Jameis Winston Florida State team the year after they won the national championship. So I think that would make it 2012, but I'm not 100% sure on that. They come in, they're rolling. We have Jacoby Brissett at quarterback, and pretty much nothing else. I don't
the Cardinals
remember
owe a lot of money.
that team being all that good. It was like a 7-5. Right. He has.
Let's stay focused.
He's got the Brinks truck backed up a couple times. Anyway, so this we have no shot, and my dad and I are sitting lower bowl on the right end zone. And there's a moment in the first quarter when we come out with our hair on fire, and Jacoby Brissett throws a slant to a little dude named Bo Hines, who then takes it like 80 yards to the house. We go up, we go up by 14 at that point. And that stadium, if you don't know, NC State Stadium holds about 57,000 people. So it's not one of the, upper echelon stadiums, but it's one of those stadiums that it gets very, very loud, and it's always full. That place was shaking. It was ridiculous. There was an old lady sitting next to me who had ridiculous perfume on. She smelled terrible. People were like falling over each other, drunk out of their minds. It was incredible. This is what we love sports.
Okay, I was going to ask, did you win?
We lost that game, but for about, no, we did not win. We did not win. But it was one of those moments where for about 45 minutes on a Saturday afternoon, we looked like we were about to beat the number 1 team in the country. A Jameis Winston Heisman Trophy winning quarterback leading number 1 team in the country. We didn't, but for about 45 minutes, it was just sports bliss. It was incredible. Yep. And it was very fun.
That's good. All right, number 3 for me. This one y'all might not know. Obviously, I'm a diehard South Carolina fan. So 2012. This is on the tail, like 2012 bowl game after like the 2011 season. This is South Carolina's first ever 11-win season in school history. We had one 10-win season before that in like 1982. It was the Black Magic season. But we never had 11. So South Carolina is playing Nebraska. We've kind of gone back and forth in the first half a little bit. It's very much more like a defensive first half. South Carolina's down 13-9, I believe. And they're trying to move the ball down the field. Very end of the first half. I remember I'm in my living room watching this game with my dad, and Connor Shaw rolls out as time is expiring in the first half and hits my boy Alshon Jeffrey. I know y'all probably remember that
Alshon,
name.
He was the man.
Gamecock legend Alshon Jeffrey. And he catches the ball at the 2-yard line, jumps up over like 4 Nebraska defenders, catches the ball at the 2-yard line, has the wherewithal to then turn around, evade another one as he dives into the end zone, giving the Gamecocks the lead at halftime. They go on to win like 30-13. They just put it on Nebraska in the second half. I mean, it was just a special moment. 'Cause like we've never won 11 games. This is probably one of the best teams we've ever fielded in school history, and just being there for that moment, see him drive down, big moment, all-time quarterback, at least for our college team, at the helm, and that happens. It's just a special moment to be there for a Gamecock fan.
Yeah, and that's back when everybody was still playing in the bowl games. Like the bowl games meant something.
Yeah, that's another thing I was going to mention. Like the bowl games matter.
Right.
So like we were.
Right.
Like nowadays, if you make a bowl and it's not a college football
No one
playoff
cares.
game, who cares? Don't talk to me. But like, we made the Capital One Bowl. That's a January 1st bowl game. Like, that was a huge. That's another thing I forgot to mention. Like, this is a huge deal. Like, South Carolina is playing on New Year's Day in the Capital One Bowl. Like, this is monumental stuff for our program. And to have a moment like that in a game that we go on and win, just
That's awesome.
freaking phenomenal. God, I miss that
Awesome.
that time of college football. I miss it so much.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, so number 3 for me, I'm going back to baseball for this one. This is 2022 NLCS. The winner of the series goes to the World Series, and we're playing. I'm a Phillies fan. We're playing the Padres, and it's Game 5, and Game 6 and 7 was going to be in San Diego. So we really wanted to win Game 5 at home. Bottom of the 8th, we're down 1. JT Realmuto hits a single off Robert Suarez, who's like a stud closer at the time, and up comes the chosen one, Bryce Harper, biggest prospect of this century probably. He's playing for the Phillies, and he's never had his moment, and has a crazy at-bat. I think he homers on the 8th pitch of the at-bat, and he hits a home run to the opposite field on a 99-mile-an-hour fastball in the outside corner. And I remember we were about to start our young adult event at the church I was at. It was Sunday night, and we were all sitting in my living room. And I remember my jaws just hit the floor, and no one else in the room knew anything about baseball except me. But my jaw is on the floor, and I'm trying to explain to these people, no, that's the biggest home run hit in the world in this decade. And like they couldn't get it. They didn't understand. And then, Ranger Suarez comes in, closes out the game, and we made the World Series. But that was like, Bedlam at the Bank is the call. If you're familiar with any baseball calls, that's Joe Davis, Harper, the swing of his life. That call, the home radio call, which I was listening to at the time, it is Bedlam at the Bank. I mean, it was just and obviously the Philly crowd going crazy, send us to the World Series. So that will always be one of my favorites. We did not cap that off with a World Series, which if we did, this might be number 1 on the list. But yeah, that's one of those you'll never forget. Never forget. That's a great one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
All right, Josh.
I wish I had one of those like that for baseball.
Yeah. Well, you do, kind of. Soler, 21. Anyways.
Yeah.
Josh.
It didn't make my list.
Yeah.
Number 2
Honorable
for
mention
me
for me.
is the 13 seconds
Almost.
game.
That's in my honorable mentions too.
mention
I
for me.
almost put that on there.
That's insane.
And it sucks for me because I pull for
I'm
Chop
glad somebody
Salad,
mentioned it.
but like still the it being there was
Yeah,
awesome.
honorable
Like,
mention.
crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's one of those, where you were, what you were doing on a late Sunday night. I mean, that game probably ends, what,
Yeah,
10:30,
it was-
11
yeah,
o'clock
it was late.
on a Sunday? And you can't pull yourself away from the TV. It's just one of those games. I think that was the
Ever.
most entertaining game I've
Anybody's
watched
watched ever.
on television
Like
in
it's
my life.
maybe the Rams and Chiefs in like 2017 or something like that, and then that game are like the most entertaining
Regular
NFL game.
season. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
no.
that was a regular season game.
This one was divisional round. Yeah.
This is a a divisional playoff
Chiefs
game.
went on to
and
win after that, didn't
you
they?
also
They did not.
have
They lost to
this
Joe
is
Burrow
so
the next
important.
week. That was the Mahomes collapse. the
That's
next week.
right. That's right.
But that game, we'll always have that
Yes.
game. Yeah.
Yeah. And also there's the the what ifs with Josh Allen's career because he keeps coming up short and it's like, well, what if he
And
got
Well,
that
I remember
one
watching
when
that
he
one.
really
I'm like,
did everything he needed
I was like,
to do.
he completes that pass. I think it was Gabe Davis who caught the touchdown
caught
with
all of
13
them.
seconds. I'm like, holy.
Gabe Davis
caught
had
all of them.
230
But I saw that, I'm
yards
like-
and 4 touchdowns
like
in that
I've-
game.
Well, yeah, but I've been believing in Josh Allen this whole time. I'm like, holy crap, he did it. He did it on the road. He did it. Like he on 4th down, 13. Like he did it. He proved it. He's the guy. And then he never touches the ball again.
That was insane.
God, it hurt so bad.
But yeah, that is absolutely. I mean, that was a
Just
that
one
was
of
a
the
2016
Oh,
Big
I don't
12
know-
game, but we just got it in the playoffs in the NFL, which you never get. And so,
yeah.
that was awesome. That was awesome.
It was ridiculous.
I
Yeah.
almost I had that,
that was
one
my
in
number
there.
2.
I had thought about putting that one in there, but it was definitely an honorable mention. Okay, number 2. Again, everybody knows this play. If you've watched ESPN in the past decade, you've known this play. But it's different when you pull so hard and passionately for the team it happened for. And it is Jadeveon Clowney taking the helmet off of Vincent Smith in the Michigan Bowl game.
Yep.
The whole setup, everything, like it was another one of like when we won 3 11 win seasons. Again, bowl games still mattered at this point. We're in the Outback Bowl. There was a lot of very big moments. There was another big moment later in this game when Dylan Thompson threw the game-winning touchdown to Bruce Ellington with 20 seconds left to win it. I almost put that one on my list too, but I didn't. I decided to put this one because it's, I mean,
Iconic.
it was my blood pressure was so high when it happened because if you know the lead up to it, it's very rare. Like fans always say this at the end of games. They're like, "Oh, we got robbed. We got cheated. The refs are paid off." All like fans love to do that, and I get it. You're frustrated. That was one of the few times when you're like, I don't understand what's going on with the refs because you genuinely did have Michigan ran a fake punt on 4th down, and clearly came up short. They pulled out the chains, measure it. It's still short. Like it's clear. There's no conspiracy. You look at that evidence. It was short. The refs still give them the 1st down. Everybody loses their mind. I'm upstairs in my granddad's house with like my dad, my granddad, and like some other family. Like we are losing our minds. Like I've completely flipped out, throwing stuff around. Not actually, but feeling like wanting to throw stuff around the room. And then 10 seconds later, Jadeveon Clowney commits homicide on national television, kills this man, and then picks up the ball with his bare claws and tries to start running the other way. Like it just is the most ball don't lie moment in sports history. And to be a diehard fan of the team watching it live again on New Year's Day was something else entirely.
Yeah, I remember watching that with a group of family friends, and we had a family friend who jumped up and threw his 3-year-old on the ground who was sitting in his lap when that happened. I mean, it was that was awesome. I mean, that was just that was, and that honestly after that play, it was like, oh, there's no question who's going to be the first overall pick when that guy comes out. And like from that moment on, all I heard was Jadeveon Clowney, and it obviously wound up being so.
He actually finished like 8th in the Heisman voting that year. He had like 14 sacks and like 20-something tackles for loss. Like we forget how good. Like I know he didn't pan out in the pros as much. We forget how good he was in college. Like he was the first of that like crazy athletic, fast freak defensive end. Like he was one of the early ones.
And that's one of those that like. My dad always he has these moments he always brings up to me, like Steve Atwater hitting whatever that running back's name. Like he has those moments. That's the one for us that we'll be telling our kids in like 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, look up Jadeveon Clowney against Michigan. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. I missed that.
That's got to be number one
up
on
there.
Sports Center's like.
Oh yeah, like I
plays
said,
of the
everybody
decade.
knows that play, but it's just different when you were like watching it live. your guts in a knot because you're pulling for South Carolina, and then that happens is crazy.
Yeah. So for me, and this is probably foreshadowing to my top 10 favorite athletes of all time, but for me, this is actually my favorite sports memory of all time. It's my second favorite sports moment, but it's my favorite sports memory because I watched this. My family took a trip. This was the last year before I got married and moved out. So it was like our last huge trip. And we went to Cooperstown. Obviously, I'm a big baseball fan. And we were at the Baseball Hall of Fame. And we toured it all day long. And the next day was Sunday. And we sat down in April in 2019. I remember the exact date. And we watched Tiger Woods win the Masters from a pizzeria in Cooperstown. And that day it was raining. There were supposed to be thunderstorms late in the day in Augusta. So everybody went out early and they paired in 3. Normally they're in 2s. They got in groups of 3 and went out and played. And we sat down and we probably watched, like the first 5 or 6 holes at home. And then we went to this pizzeria and watched Tiger all day. And Molinari and Finau both hit it in the water on 12, and Tiger hits it in the middle of the green. And then we watch him storm back, win the Masters. And it's the first major he had won in 11 years. And it's probably the greatest single person comeback ever in sports history for Tiger I literally will have moments where I'll text our buddy Denny probably twice a year randomly. I can't believe Tiger won the 2019 Masters just because it was so improbable. So many injuries, the scandal, everything. And he comes back and he wins. And I got to watch it from Cooperstown with my family, last big trip before I got married and moved out. So it's my favorite ever sports memory, just with all encompassed. But as far as just a singular moment, Tiger winning the 2019 Masters is my number 2 favorite sports moment of all time.
Yeah. That's good. I like that one a lot.
That's a good one.
All right, Josh. What's number 1? It's got to be special.
All right. Landon's already going to know what this one is. This is a series of moments more than it is any single moment, because there's probably like top 5 level moments packaged into this one overall thing. But let me take you back into a portal into March of 2024. This should be no surprise to anybody. I'm a huge NC State fan. We were awful that year in basketball. I mean, awful. Our coach was about to get fired. It was a foregone conclusion. We're going into the ACC tournament. We're playing in the first set of games in the ACC tournament, which means we sucked. We played Louisville in that first game, and it was very well known that if we were going to lose that game to Louisville, he was gone. He was fired. We barely beat Louisville. We played terrible, barely beat them. This was like Louisville before they hired their new coach. They won like 6 games that year. They were awful. Then we go play Virginia. They miss a free throw. We hit a half-court heave to take it to overtime. We win in overtime. We played Duke in the semifinals, beat Duke. We played Carolina
and
in
we
the
were good.
ACC
we were a 1 seed.
championship.
That was the best team Hubert Davis ever had at North Carolina.
Very good. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure Duke was like a 3 seed that year, maybe something like that. They weren't the Duke of like the past couple of years, but they were good. Smoked them, smoked Carolina. I mean, it was
answers
shocking
for the big
kind of a thing. We put our Cinderella slippers on. Yeah. This will be a tell for my top 10 players, but so we beat Carolina, and it's like, okay, I mean, this is already one of the greatest sports moments ever. I mean, we had no business even getting there, so we get an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament, which we would have not made had we not won the ACC championship. It was either beat Carolina and go to the tournament or lose to Carolina in the ACC championship and you go home. So you have to win every single game. We go to the NCAA tournament, we win. We win again. We beat Duke in the Elite 8 again. Smacked them. Wasn't even close. And then we go and we eventually lose in the Final Four. But we went to a Final Four on a team that was like, I mean, we were horrendous. It was truly one of the most incredible sports moments I've ever seen. I'm biased, but I think outside of the 1983 championship run,
Yeah.
that's, I think, one of the best March moments ever. It was just, and especially I think with the context of like, that was a bad team with a coach that was
he got fired anyway.
on life support.
2 years later. So,
and then he
yeah.
did get fired like a year later.
No.
Because he wasn't a good coach, but it's that you put your Cinderella slippers on and magic happens in March.
Yeah.
It
That's a
was
good one.
unbelievable. We just kept winning. And it wasn't against some bums. I mean, we were beating really, really good teams out of nowhere. It was just wild. So that's my number one. Not even close, too. That was number one by a country mile.
That's good. Mine, Landon had mentioned he didn't put anything like was actual championships on mine. But this one, I'm sorry. This is my first ever, like tears came to my eyes. Sports moment was when this happened. This is 12 or 13-year-old Ben. This is 2010. College World Series Gamecocks.
Yeah, I knew it.
College World Series. Whit Merrifield is up at the plate.
2-hit Whit.
Against UCLA. 2-hit Whit. Bottom of the 11th, man on third with one out. Okay. UCLA should have walked him. And then Jackie Bradley Jr. was coming up next. Should have walked him too. But no. Jackie, yes, sir. Yes, sir. He actually won the MVP for the College World Series, whole College World Series. But Whit Merrifield is up at the plate, one out, bottom, and man on third. It was actually Scott Wingo, I think, was on third, who y'all probably don't know who that is, but he was a freaking hero for South Carolina. Scott Wingo, my favorite second baseman of all time. No one knows who Scott Wingo is. No one knows who Scott Wingo is. But anyway, Whit Merrifield walks it off.
Real good
and
for the 2011 South Carolina
the
Gamecocks
sound
college
of the bat.
team.
Like it's such an iconic sound, at least to me. This was like the next year they changed the bats they were still using.
Oh, BESR? Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I could pull up the sound for it if you want. It was a gorgeous sound. He hits it. We walk it off. Jackie Bradley Jr. wins MVP. It's the first major title in South Carolina history.
Wow.
Was that one. It kicked off, which is a record that still stands to this day. South Carolina won it again in 2011.
Uh-huh.
We won 22 consecutive postseason wins, which is the most all-time in college baseball history. 12 consecutive World Series wins, most all-time in college baseball history. We were in the losers bracket of that College World Series as well. We lost the first game to Arizona State. Come out of the losers bracket, win, beat Clemson, might I add, to get to the College World Series to face UCLA and win it for the first program title ever. It was, and I remember like I was on a youth camp. We're watching it on somebody's laptop. All of us are like crowded in a room. You hear that bing, that like iconic sound, like the whole room erupts. It is far and away, and I love every single moment on here. This is like my first ever moment of like, I freaking love this.
Yeah.
Like I had tears in my eyes.
Yeah.
I had tears in my eyes.
So they had JBJ, Whit Merrifield. Was Justin Smoke on that team?
Yes,
Dude,
yes, I think he
that's
was.
like MLB.
We still had Christian Walker was a freshman.
Christian Walker
was a freshman on that team.
Dude, that's like
Christian Walker was on that
legit
team.
MLB talent on that roster. That's impressive. That's impressive.
Yeah, no, they were so good.
Yeah, that's great.
They were so good.
Yeah. So
I almost had.
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Hit your one, and then like we'll speed through honorable mentions.
Okay, we'll do honorable mentions after. Okay.
If we have
So
any.
background: 15 years ago, way before this moment happened, I'm watching, of all things, Mike and Mike. If you remember that radio show, and they had a long conversation, and the conversation was
I
about
haven't heard that in a while. By the way,
about the 04 ALCS, where the Red Sox come back from down 3-0 to beat the Yankees. The Red Sox eventually swept the Cardinals in the World Series. So the Red Sox beat the Yankees and they won the World Series. And the conversation was, what's better for the fan base? Winning the World Series or beating the rival? That was the conversation they had. And Greeny was on the side of the World Series is obviously better because you won the championship, right? You're the champions. And Gulick, was that his name? The other one? He was saying no, the beating the rival was better.
Yeah.
And I watched that, and I remember thinking, no, Greeny's right. It's obviously winning the championship, winning the World Series is the best part. It's good to beat the rival, but you'd rather win the championship. Well, in 2022, I found out that is not true because the North Carolina Tar Heels played the Duke Blue Devils in the Final Four, which is my nightmare. Look, I love North Carolina, like everything. I hate when we play Duke. Those games it's too much. My heart can barely take it. So to play them in the Final Four, to go to the national championship is just nightmare city. I couldn't sleep. I mean, I couldn't eat. It was brutal. It was brutal. And it's a great game, fantastic finish. And Caleb Love at the top of the key with 20-some seconds left over Mark Williams, hand in his face, hits a three to put us up by the margin that we'd end up winning by. And we beat Duke in the Final Four. Coach K's last game he ever coached, by the way. We beat Coach K in his last home game. Remember, there's like 50 Duke players in the stands, and we beat him to ruin his last home game. Last home game Coach K ever coached, Carolina beat him. And then his last game he ever coached, we beat him in the Final Four to go to the national championship. Now, I say that because we end up losing the national championship, and I almost don't care. I care a little bit we lost. I would have much rather won, right? But I almost don't care because we beat Duke in the Final Four. Caleb Love shot over Mark Williams. I'll never forget it. The picture is hanging in my son's bedroom at home of Caleb Love over Mark Williams, and never forget it. And it will never be topped. The only way it gets topped is if somehow we beat Duke in the national championship. That's the only way it's getting topped. So that will always and forever be the number one moment in the history of my sports life.
Yeah, like with the
Yes, it's the context.
That's always what it is, though. It's the context of Coach K's final game. It's a Hall of Famer. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe arguable best coach ever, but to
last
to
game he ever
finish
coached.
his career off that way, that is
Caleb Love. Dagger.
That's a beauty.
So there it is. That's my top 5.
Yeah, dude, I thought it was stressful when South Carolina played Clemson in that College World Series. Like, if they played in with the new playoff format
to go to the championship,
football, if South Carolina and Clemson ever met, I don't know if I could. I genuinely you call me a fake fan or whatever. I don't think I could watch it.
It was brutal.
I would throw up
so
watching
thankful
that game.
I was
would
living
throw up.
in South Carolina at the time and not up here with all the Duke fans. That would have been awful. But yeah. So you got honorable mentions? You can go through quick.
Yeah, I've got some. Josh, I don't know if you have.
I got
any.
a few.
Yeah, I put.
I don't. If I should have just had.
Yeah.
I should have had the kick 6 as my number 5, so maybe I can just throw a bone and say
the 13-second was
honorable
one of
mention,
mine, dude.
but
I had
no.
remember the Beastquake run, Marshawn Lynch versus the Saints. I put that.
Yeah.
That's one of mine.
Oh,
Y'all probably don't know this one.
that's an
When
all-timer.
South Carolina was ranked number 6, Georgia was ranked number 5. 2012, Ace Sanders returns a punt in the first quarter to put South Carolina up 21-0. Like, I just remember the stadium, how loud it was, and I'm like, oh my gosh, South Carolina actually is a legit team this year. We're whooping number 5 Georgia. That's one. I put Jamar Chase's 50-yard touchdown versus Clemson in the national championship.
Oh yeah.
In 2020, watching that in my apartment with y'all, that was
fun.
That was fun. That was when I knew, like, oh,
That
yeah,
was crazy.
LSU's got him.
Yeah.
LSU's got him.
That was fun.
I almost put number 5. I changed it to the kick 6. Duke losing to South Carolina, 2016, freshman year.
2017.
We were in Key's room, I think. You were watching that one with us.
Yep.
2017?
That was the same year as the Luke May shot. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Either way, I remember being in the room with you guys watching that one. That was a lot of fun. Y'all don't know this one, but South Carolina versus Missouri. South Carolina had just lost 2 in a row. Our season's like hanging by a thread. We're on the road against number 5 Missouri. This was another one of our 11-win seasons, by the way. Connor Shaw is injured. He can't play in this game. He's a no-go. We're starting our backup, Dylan Thompson, who was really good. But he's having a bad game. We're down 17-0 in the fourth quarter on the road against number 5 Missouri. We're like, it's over. Connor Shaw, injured throwing shoulder, by the way, comes off the bench, leads us back from 17-0, ties it, and we win in overtime. He threw a touchdown to tie it. He threw a touchdown to tie it, and I think he threw another touchdown on 4th and 20 in overtime. Threw a touchdown that way. Just an unbelievable game. Jadeveon Clowney sacking Aaron Murray for Georgia. I don't know if y'all remember him.
I remember
Aaron Murray was terrified of Jadeveon Clowney. Jadeveon Clowney sacks Aaron Murray. This is Jadeveon's freshman year. Aaron, mid-sack, gets terrified, throws the ball up in the air. Melvin Ingram picks it up, runs it into the end zone. And then the last honorable mention I had was Tim Tebow to Demaryius Thomas in overtime against the Steelers in the wild card round. That one was special, too.
Oh, yeah.
Those are my honorables. I could spend another hour talking about these.
Mahomes to Hardman for me to win the Super Bowl. We'll watch that at your house, Josh, all of us together.
Yep.
Trimble's shot to beat Duke this year.
Okay.
My brother was in the building for that, by the way. That's awesome. Everything about the 2024 run from Jaden Daniels to make the NFC Championship game, that was great. And then Duke losing to Lehigh and Mercer in March Madness. Both of those were great. CJ McCollum, still my favorite player just for that. And then Tiger winning the 2008 U.S. Open, sinking the 15-foot par putt to force an 18-hole playoff against Rocco and beating him the next day on the torn ACL. So those are my honorable mentions right there. So I love it.
There's so many.
That was fun.
There's so many.
I'm glad I got to hear you guys. Yeah. And the episode's going to be kind of long, but I don't care. Let's just do the players anyways.
There may be nobody listening to this. I will
be listening to this. I'm going to tell my dad to listen to this. So.
I'm going to send this one out to some of our group chats. I'm like, y'all just please listen to this one.
All right.
We want it.
So who wants to start with the players?
Okay.
Let's do 10, 9, and 8. Let's go through them kind of quick. 10, 9, and 8, and then we'll go 6 and 7, and then we'll go one at a time.
One at a time from here on. Okay, yeah, I like that.
I'll go fairly quick on these. Number 10 for me this is the player that I had the most fun watching. It was Allen Iverson
young Josh.
In his prime. So much fun to watch.
Very young.
Yes. This is very young, very young. So the way he could just cross somebody over and hit a fadeaway in somebody's face,
with the
and
swag,
he was always smaller.
Shorts way too big.
It's just a beautiful thing.
Everything.
Yes,
everything.
The whole thing. No, there's gonna be kind of a theme with some of these, but number 9 for me is somebody who helped me win a championship in Mully this year. And there's gonna be a couple different players that show up because that's kind of the icing on the cake that gets you there.
If any player ever helps me win Mully, that will just automatically go in my top 5 all-time sports moments.
Yeah.
If we want to have an all-time top 5 disappointments, 4 of them would probably be Mully for me.
Terry McLaurin, Austin Eckler. I don't know who else, but anyways, go ahead, Josh.
All of them.
Sorry to interrupt you, Josh. That's my fault.
This is also a player that I have had to, or I did have to argue his place on this podcast for multiple years. It was always a thing of like, I don't know. Is this going to work out? I don't know. I drafted him in the second round of a rookie draft. It's Devon Achane.
Who did you think he was going to say?
I thought he was going to say
he never would have made the list had I not won a championship with him.
Anyways, go ahead.
Puka is on the list later. But Devon Achane makes the list at number 9. Number 8 is the NFL player that was the most fun for me to watch ever. It was LaDainian Tomlinson in his prime. My good, if I wish we were playing fantasy football
101.
And I had this guy on my team. I'm kind of glad I don't.
There isn't a 101.
Because I can just
He's so good.
No, he's the greatest fantasy football player of all time, I think. But also just watching him play. I mean, he was
the first year I played football.
Just
I had the LT
talented,
cleats. I had the LaDainian Tomlinson cleats. Yeah, absolutely.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh,
He had the smoked out visor. He had the swag
Kids
too.
today just don't know. They just don't know.
The grill.
Those are good ones.
Man.
No,
so
before.
That was like 2013 Chargers
2000s.
lore right there.
Yeah, 2000s. Yeah.
2010.
All right, Ben.
So good.
Okay. Number 10 is I fell in love with this player because I started watching the team from a previous play for a different player. But he just worked his way into my heart, and he's one of mine. It's Matt Ryan at number 10.
Yeah.
Matty Ice. Yeah, I had to put him on there. I had to. I hate he didn't get a Super Bowl. I hate he didn't get one.
Yeah.
Number 9, I cheated a little bit. I put my favorite 2 pitchers from the teams, but the answer is really anyone from the 2010, 2011 College World Series championship runs. But I put Michael Roth, who was our ace starting pitcher for those teams, and Matt Price, who was our closer.
Okay.
Yeah. Y'all don't know them,
don't.
but they will always have a special place in my heart. I love those
Those are
guys.
the best.
And number 8, I was excited to put this one on here. I went back and forth of should I do it, but man, I loved this guy in college. It's Tavon Austin.
Wow.
I was so excited
Oh,
to
yeah.
put him on here.
Yeah.
That
I
highlight tape
remember,
goes hard.
like, watching him mainly from the bowl game where
Right.
West Virginia beat Clemson 70-33.
Of course.
And I was like, man, that Tavon Austin dude's good. So I started following him, and he has the single greatest YouTube video of all time.
It's hard to
I mean,
argue.
there isn't a second YouTube
It's
video.
hard to argue.
It is the greatest YouTube video ever.
Yeah. It's hard to argue with that.
Yeah.
All right.
That's my 10 through 8.
So my number 10, the only player I have ever cried when they retired for, Derek Jeter. Analytics guys will tell you he was no good. Don't listen to him. This guy was an anchor for the Yankees. And I'm definitely not a Yankees fan, but anchor for the Yankees for 2 decades. I mean, absolute monster. Derek Jeter, one of my favorites ever. Number 9, the GOAT, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. I started out when I was younger.
I knew you'd put him on there.
I didn't like him when I was younger, and around the second Eli Super Bowl is probably when it started, because I don't like the Giants. I'm a Washington fan. I don't like the Giants. So it's probably started around there, and then obviously I got to watch him for another. He was a decade into his career at that point, and I got to watch him for another decade. So the greatest player in the history of the NFL, Tom Brady, number 9. And number 8, I definitely did not like this guy when he was younger because he played against the rival Washington Nationals. But in 2019, he changed the whole organization of the Philadelphia Phillies by signing with us. He hit the home run I mentioned earlier. Bryce Harper has changed my team and changed the Phillies for these last 5 years and the next several years to come. So he's going to be a Hall of Famer, all-time great player. I've probably watched 70% of his at-bats since he's been with the Phillies, and so he's got to be on the list for me.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is that was that
That's
8 for
pretty
you?
good.
Yeah, 7 and
7.
6 is next.
All right.
7 and 6. Yeah, and then we'll do
We're
I'll do
doing
one at a
7 and
time
6,
from
and then we're reserving the top 5. All right. All right. Number 7 for me is David Thompson, the freakazoid. I mean, we win a 1974 national championship in college basketball, beating UCLA.
UCLA,
By the
taking a
way,
beating in this video, by the way.
John Wooden UCLA teams.
A lot of UCLA losses.
Hey, we beat UCLA
Catching
right
strays
before we
everywhere.
played Kentucky in 2017. So, there you
And
go.
then,
There's another one.
There you go.
Everyone is beating
Lonzo
UCLA in this
Ball.
video.
Oh, I think David Thompson won
think he
2
won.
National Player of the Years in
No, maybe it
college,
was just 2.
and then he
Maybe it was
goes to the NBA.
Might have won 3.
Was it 3?
Okay, you might be right.
I thought it was 73 and 74. He won National Player of the Year. He goes to the NBA. He's the best player in the NBA instantly, but then he has a drug problem. So NBA people don't know David Thompson, but if you go like really dig into NBA lore, people are like, that's one of those ones where he's an all-timer. He just didn't get the chance to have the longevity because he had personal issues. He was a top 5 player in the NBA the entire time he was in the NBA, but I think he had something like a 5-year career maybe or something like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the longevity case, but the best college basketball player ever.
Well,
and I don't know that you're getting
I was going to
many
give him
arguments
compliments. Like,
from anyone.
people who don't care about college basketball, ACC basketball, it's a big deal to, like, ACC basketball is a big deal around here. Like, it's just ACC history. I know it's not as good as it used to be, but it is. It's a big deal.
Big deal.
There are only 3 players you can argue are the greatest player in the history of the ACC, and one of them is David Thompson. And he gets my vote for the best player in the history of the ACC. Bill Walton and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar may have something to say about greatest college player
I'm
ever,
curious,
but,
is it?
But seriously, David Thompson, I would say he's the greatest player in the history of the ACC. There's only 3 people you can argue. One of the other ones is going to be mentioned on my list. One of the other ones is going to be mentioned
Probably
on my
him,
list.
Ralph
so
Sampson.
We'll get to him. But yeah, so David Thompson, no argument there.
Yeah, freakazoid. So he's number 7. Number 6 for me is he's on here for the same reason. One of the other players that was on my list is on my list. Is Christian McCaffrey, the pretty much the anchor of my Mully team for 3 years running now. We win a championship, so he gets to be on the list. This is really more of a fantasy thing than it is
It matters.
a real life thing. I mean, he's a freak, but winning the granddaddy them all and having a player like this, that it's like, this is the guy everybody else wishes they had on their team, and I've got him, and you win, and you get to say that now Christian McCaffrey he's in the Hall of Fame.
He got me 3
of favorite players of all time.
Understand. Yeah.
Gotta love it.
He got me none. He cost me some, actually.
All right, Ben, 7 and 6.
Okay, 7. I'm ashamed to say I did cheat a little bit. I had one name on here, and then there was another name that I like because they were on the same secondary. I just couldn't leave him off, so I put Stephon Gilmore on here because he was like the first recruit that I remember, like as a South Carolina kid growing up. I'm like, shoot, we got Stephon Gilmore. He's an elite recruit. He come out 2009, see him play. I'm like, oh, he's legit. Like, he's awesome. So he's one of my favorite players. Played corner at South Carolina, goes to the Bills, ends up being great in the NFL. He's awesome, but I had to put a slash, and y'all might not know this guy, or maybe you do, but DJ Swearinger, who was a safety for us.
He was a commander
at the same time.
Yeah.
God, I love DJ Swearinger. Like, he was the beating heart of that secondary.
He would knock some people's heads off.
He had so much attitude. He got so many personal foul penalties, and I love him for it. He murdered Andre Ellington in South Carolina versus Clemson, and then got a personal foul 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, everybody's seen that one.
There was one time we were playing Arkansas. It actually wasn't a penalty, but he decleated a guy, and the ref threw a penalty for targeting, even though he led with his shoulder. And then the next play, DJ has a pick 6 on that one. Like, he was the biggest attitude mentality guy ever, and I love DJ Swearinger for that reason. So I had Stephon Gilmore, and I couldn't take Stephon off, but I had to put DJ in there somewhere. So those 2 guys in the South Carolina secondary at the same time was number 7 for me.
Yeah, that's good.
And number 6, when I was making the list, I had to I guess put the rule in, like, it was guys that I have to actually remember, and have connection to, watching growing up and spending time with the player, watching him consistently. So I had Chipper Jones on here because I'm a Braves fan.
Larry Wayne.
But I didn't spend a ton of time growing up I had to watch Chipper Jones and all that stuff. Like, I knew who he was a Braves fan, but wasn't super locked in. I was more of a college guy. So I put Freddie Freeman instead. Yeah. Because that was when I was actually watching the Braves consistently, and still watch the Braves consistently. But Freddie was the guy, still is the guy we got rid of. We should never have let him go. And Matt Olson's great. We should have never let him go. So I had to put Freddie at 6. He deserves the spot.
Yeah, Freddie's a Hall of Famer. Chipper is the first ballot Hall of Famer. Chipper Jones he was a problem. He's well known in the Southeast. Braves, I mean, he was anchor for them for decades. For my money, he's the second greatest switch hitter ever. I'd have him over Eddie Murray and Pete Rose, and no argument with either one of those.
Yeah. So I guess I did cheat a little bit for 6 and 7.
You've cheated twice.
Technically,
Yeah.
Larry Wayne is not on there. I've
You've
cheated
cheated
twice.
twice.
I don't cheat from here on out.
Yeah, Larry.
I'll say
Wayne
that. I don't
Jones.
cheat from here on out.
All right.
And Freddie Freeman.
All right. So number 7 for me. Josh will remember this guy, the human pogo stick, Bryce Johnson. Dude, he was a North Carolina Tar Heel. He was a power forward center type. He was second. He was first team All ACC, first team All American his senior year, and he was second to Malcolm Brogdon, who just retired, in ACC Player of the Year in 2016. I thought he should have won, but he came up second. He was just a 4-year player, 3-year starter. Unfortunately, he was not a national champion. He was on the team that lost on the last second shot to Villanova in 16, and he was not on the 2017 team. But it was him and Marcus Page their whole time there. And Johnson was always my favorite just because he was the bounciest guy, best dunks, best highlights, all that stuff. And he was just, of all the Tar Heels ever, he's my second favorite. So he makes my list, number 7. And number 6, my guy. He's going right now. He's doing his thing right now. Patrick Mahomes. I mean, what can you say?
Locked him in. I knew he was going to
First-
go. I thought he'd be higher, honestly.
First 7 seasons, 7 AFC championship games. He didn't make it this year, obviously, but 5 Super Bowls, 3 wins, 3 MVPs, 3 Super Bowl MVPs, 2 regular season MVPs. I mean, he's in, for my money, if he retired today, he'd be the second greatest quarterback in the history of the league. I don't think that's like locked in yet, but he has to do a little bit more to like lock in past Montana and Manning probably, but I think he's definitely going to get there. So I got to have him at number 6. I think that is the highest active player on my list. I don't have anybody active higher than that. So. Yep.
I have one active player.
How are we doing
And
our
I know
top
you
5?
do. We'll get to him in a second. Josh,
Let's do it one by one.
yeah, one.
Are we going
by
one by
from
one?
here
Are we
on.
going 2 by 2?
This is,
What are we
this is
doing
top
for our
5. This is special, Josh.
Favorite athletes of all time.
All right. Well, yeah.
Okay.
My number 5 is Patrick Mahomes. So
There you go. I didn't realize that. Okay.
we can just
Right
lock that one in and move on.
Patrick Mahomes. Number 5, y'all will know him. Again, growing up a South Carolina fan, Marcus Lattimore is one of the most special athletes in my heart and always will be.
Yeah.
Because he was an unbelievable talent, and just his career was robbed from him, man.
Yeah.
Just with injuries, it sucks so bad. Like, he would have been special in the pros. I know they were drooling over him too, but the knee injuries just caught up with him. He's still, even after the 2 knee injuries, got drafted in the 4th round by the 49ers. After he tried to go for them and just physically wasn't able to anymore. So that's one of the only moments too where I've tears came to my eyes when he had that second knee injury.
Yeah.
I watched it live. I saw him break down. I knew how bad it was. Tears welled up in my eyes watching it. So he's a special athlete in my heart, and I love Marcus Lattimore. He's gotten a little weird as he's grown up, but
Who cares?
I grew up watching you, Marcus. He is.
Isn't he a
It's
poet
odd,
now or
but
something?
I remember him playing football, and I remember him running that ball for South Carolina, and I will always, always love him for that.
Yeah.
He's incredible.
All right. So my number
number
5,
5.
this man is probably, my dad's a Phillies fan, but the biggest reason I'm a Phillies fan is this gentleman right here. The 2007 NL MVP. Probably shouldn't have won it, but he did, so I don't care. Jimmy Rollins. I had a 6-foot fat head beside my bed of this gentleman my whole childhood growing up. And he's not even 6 feet tall. So it was bigger than him, life size. But Jimmy Rollins, smoothest shortstop. I played shortstop growing up. I was a Phillies fan, but mostly because of him. And he's one of the greatest players in the history of the Phillies. He was the anchor of really good teams, World Series teams, deep playoff run teams when I was a kid. And he wasn't the best player, but he was the leader, most important player type glue guy. So I will always love J-Roll, Jimmy Rollins. Young James, as they call him.
I like that. Young James.
Young James.
All right. Number 4, We have once again a member of the Mully Championship team. We got Puka Nacua. He gets all the way to number 4 for a couple reasons. One, he was the best player on a team that won the Mully Championship, but also he was a player that I drafted in like the third round of the rookie draft.
Yeah, no,
he was
on
undrafted.
waivers.
Yeah.
That's right. Picked him up on waivers prior to week 1, his rookie year.
And after,
and
if
then
you
he
will
turns
remember
into what he
this,
turned into. So you get the
I
twofold
offered you,
part of
because
it.
no one knew how to value him after that. No one knew like what his value was. I offered you 2 seconds for him after week 1, and you turned me down. You said you would do a first, and I refused to do it.
One of the best decisions you've ever made.
Yeah, I refused to do a first, and you were right. So
It's one of those, you call your shots, and it will never work out that well with any other player. But it was the best fantasy called shot ever, and also on a championship team, he was just absurd in the final couple weeks of the season. Like he carried. It was just an incredible playoff run, and so you get all of that bundled together.
In your opponent's lineup.
Anyways,
but when you saw Puka, you were like, "All right, I'm down 25."
Yeah,
like before he even plays, you're like, "I know 25 right there."
Pretty much
crazy. Number 4.
So, anyways, that's
number 4 for me. He's not my favorite quarterback anymore. But growing up in the NFL, he definitely was. It is the Sheriff, Peyton Manning.
Of course.
Was my favorite quarterback growing up.
Of course.
Had to put him on here.
Yeah. He's honorable mention for me. He's on my honorable mention list. The only athlete I ever dressed up for Halloween, Peyton Manning. So.
Really?
Only one. But.
Yeah. I liked him in the Colts, and then I love when he went to the Broncos and lit people up for a couple years. I know he fell off really hard at the end when they still won a Super Bowl, but those were a special few seasons with Peyton Manning in Denver.
Yeah. Yeah, if he was on my honorable mention. So he would be on my dad's top 10 probably. My dad loves him. So number 4 for me, I've already mentioned him. He was my first favorite athlete. When I started, my first sport I started watching was baseball. 2004 was the first season I watched. I was 6 years old, and my favorite player was Albert Pujols. And he's one of the very few guys in the history of the game that walked into the league, and from the first moment he stepped on the field was one of the 5 best players in the world. And he was that for the first 12 years of his career. And he fell off at the end. His last decade he dealt with a bunch of injuries and all this stuff, but hung around long enough to get 700 homers, which just doesn't happen. Like, it's happened 4 times ever. So my first favorite player ever, my second favorite baseball player ever, looking at my list, the Machine, Albert Pujols. And I hate that.
That's a good one.
I knew he would make that list. People who started watching baseball in the 2010s or later don't understand who this man is. I will also say this. I've been to a lot of baseball games. A lot. I've been to a lot of sporting events, really, but there's no telling how many baseball games I've been to. 40, 50, something like that. And I've seen Hall of Famers. I've seen Shohei. I've seen Ken Griffey Jr. I've seen awesome players. The only time I sat in the stands at a baseball game with my jaw on the ground, speechless, because I could not believe I was getting to watch this player, was when I got to see him washed up with the Dodgers in 2021, come into pinch hit, and my wife is like, "What is wrong with you?" Because I couldn't move. Because I could not believe I was getting to watch Albert Pujols, arguably the greatest right-handed hitter ever. So, he's definitely makes my list.
Yeah, that's a good one. I figured he would be on there. Yeah. I just didn't know where. All right, Josh.
Number 3.
Puts us at number 3. Alrighty. Number 3 is the greatest of all time. It's LeBron James.
Trying to start a fight, John?
With some.
Yeah. Let's start a fight.
Me,
no,
but somebody else in this group.
It's all of his best moments happened in my lifetime, or at least when I was watching sports. So it was the run from like 2008 to let's say it was 2020 is the end of this run of just dominance. that is all like I'm in middle school, high school, college, and then graduating college. So that's probably like your formative years for watching sports when you're watching the most sports. And just watching him dominate everybody for that stretch. This now, and also he is great before I'm even really watching sports. He has his 2007 playoff run where he takes a
Well, you
terrible
don't like
Cavs
Zydrunas
team to the
Ilgauskas?
finals. And they
You
lose.
don't like Anderson Varejao?
Anderson Varejao, Zydrunas Ilgauskas. Golly. And he's just raw. And he's still carrying them. He's got the half court shot against the Magic in the playoffs. This is before I'm really watching basketball. So you just have all this greatness and then, happening in this window of time when I was probably most able to appreciate it.
Yeah,
So
there's no one who
he comes in at number 3.
And obviously the big thing is Jordan versus LeBron. I can go either way on that. There is no argument there is no second best player of our lifetime in basketball. There's just not. I mean, you might say Steph, Tim Duncan, you might say some guys. It's just, the gap is huge between the way he dominated, what he was able to do for the length of his career and the longevity. I mean, as good as it gets. Absolutely as good as it gets.
Yeah. No, that's good. Okay. Number 3 for me. He is the whole reason that I became a fan of the Atlanta Falcons. And I have his jersey on the wall behind me. It is the one and only Mr. Julio Jones. I watched him in Alabama, loved him, so I followed him to the pros, became a fan of the Falcons for that reason. He's the reason Matt Ryan is on this list because I started watching the Falcons every single week because I wanted to watch Julio Jones, and here we are. He's my favorite receiver of all time. There are some guys who could catch him in my mind. I've got a few honorable mentions, but he's the GOAT for me. He's my favorite receiver.
Yeah, that's a great one. It's good when you can have the guy who's on your favorite team, like Bryce Harper for me. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. And speaking of Bryce Harper and LeBron, my third player is in that same vein. And it is when the kid was 15 years old, everybody knew he was going to be the best and wound up delivering on it, much like LeBron. I'm pretty sure this guy could murder his whole family and I'd still love him. And it is the proof is in the pudding. He's still my third favorite athlete of all time, Eldrick Tiger Woods. With all the scandals, with all the injuries, with all the DUIs and whatever, I just can't quit the guy. He's like, I'm not the...
I was talking to the president.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest golf fan in the world, right? Like, I'm not, but he made me watch. And anytime he's playing, I'm watching. And he gave me the 2019 moment. He gave me the 2008 moment. And the run he went on from 1997 to 2008 is the most dominant stretch of sporting dominance there has been by a single player. Like, even greater than LeBron, greater than Michael in the 90s, greater than whatever. I mean, this guy won 14 majors in 11 years. He won the Tiger Slam where he held all 4 major championships at one time. He won his first Masters as a pro by a record 12 strokes in 1997 as a kid. Like, he's the best. He's the best. And I know he didn't get to 18 because of all the injuries and stuff, but there's no question in my mind who the greatest golfer of all time is. I still have to have him as my third favorite athlete ever. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
That's a good one.
Josh, number 2.
All right, number 2. This one is personal. It's my number 1 moment ever, and this was the player that was the foremost reason the moment happened. It was DJ Burns,
617 pounds.
Yes, does not look like he should be good at the sport of basketball, and he was fantastic. And he leveled up during the run. He dominated NBA players. I mean, it was fantastic. It was so much fun to watch, and it was just great. It's that moment, and it's the player that was
He
sort of the
so
face of the
big.
moment.
Do you remember
so good.
every question after that run he went on? Are you going to go to the NFL? That was the question. He didn't even play football, but the question was, are you going to try to play tackle in the NFL? So yeah.
I remember he went on Rich Eisen, and they're asking him like, "Could you play tight end?" And he's like, "I don't know, man.
That's a great
I play
one.
basketball."
Yeah, that's a great one.
He's like, "I'm gonna go to Europe and play basketball."
All right, number 2. Everybody's gonna know my number 2. This is my boy. Had to do it. Josh Allen is my second favorite athlete. He just turned 30 years old, and he is my second favorite player in any sport of all time. And it's not just because of fantasy implications. Like he is. I have 6 dynasty leagues. I think I have him as my quarterback 1 in 4 of them. He is the beating heart of my Mully team. He is my like that. But there's a fantasy aspect, but there's also a personal side of it too. Is because I remember channel flipping on a Saturday and watching college football, and I come across Wyoming for no reason, and I don't know why I pause for a second, but I stay there, and I see this quarterback who I've never heard of rip a football 70 yards down the football field and hits a guy like in stride. I said, holy crap, who is that? And I stayed for the rest of the game. And like, sure, he was a little inaccurate in college. He was raw. But I'm like, my gosh, that's the most physically gifted throw I've ever seen in my life. So I learned about Josh Allen, and I stuck with him then, and I followed him a little bit, and I knew he was going to get drafted high just from his physical skills. And I remember is this Avengers?
Infinity War. I was going to bring it up if you didn't.
Yes. I remember the NFL draft is happening that night.
Yep.
But we had tickets to opening night of Avengers Infinity War. So it's us and a bunch of friends. And we're watching the draft, paying attention. And then we get into the theater. And one of our friends who was a Bills fan sees that, like, during the previews, they drafted Josh Allen. And he's like, oh my gosh, who is Josh Allen? I've never even heard of this guy. And I remember turning to it and I'm like, dude, that is a good pick. That's a special player right there. And he had no idea.
Do you remember us
who this guy was
waiting in line? Because we both thought Josh Allen should go number 1. And we busted out laughing when the Browns took Baker.
When it was Baker.
Nothing against Baker. Like Baker's had to turn himself into a good player, but we were like, you got to take Allen. And then obviously we see what he's turned into. So, yeah.
And he's like, dude, we just drafted Allen. Like, who the heck even is that? I'm like, dude, please, that is the best pick of this draft. And so far, other than Lamar at the end, which people will argue, it has been. And the first couple of years were tough, but when he figured it out, man, he has turned into something special. I have had him on my Mully team ever since Josh dropped him in his second year. I did not have him to start.
Tenured player.
Josh, you dropped him.
Yep.
I picked him up, and he has been on my team ever since, and he is the beating heart. And he is one of those players to where I just don't think you could make there's an offer you could make, and I would just okay, fine, I have to do it, but unless you are willing to give me literal everything, I'm just not trading Josh Allen. I'm just not. He's my favorite player in real life. He's my favorite player in fantasy, and I have more ties to him than just fantasy, which is why he got up here so far. It's fun watching him in fantasy, but to have followed him this far, I've stuck with him the whole way. He's got to be my number 2 all time.
Yeah, no, I knew he'd be 1 or 2. So my number 2, and it might surprise you a little bit. I actually don't have a number 2. I have 2 number 1s. All right. I cannot pick, and I will not pick. So I'm just going to talk about one of them now and one of them the next.
Maybe can I backtrack and make that rule for mine? Yeah. Josh is at 2, but he could
I
do
don't
one?
have a number 2.
Okay.
I can't have a number 2. My number 1 is Clayton Kershaw, and he will basically always be my favorite. I think I watched every pitch he threw after 2015, and he retired last year. So you're talking about a decade straight. I watched every pitch, and that's only because that's when I started buying MLB at bat. Before that, any game that was televised, I watched every single time. He's always been my guy through all the injuries. I know the playoff issues, and he's not a great postseason performer. I get that. But in the end of his career, he turned it around where he at least had good moments enough for them to win World Series that he wasn't able to do early in his career. So he overcame those demons a little bit. But probably from the time, like maybe 2012, I told everyone, if I have a son, his name's going to be Clayton. And I have a son, and his name is Jace Clayton Davis. I knew that. He's always been my favorite. He's always been my guy. I almost put his no-hitter on my top 5 favorite moments ever in 2014. But I think he has a real argument. He's the greatest regular season pitcher ever. I would not say he's probably not even the 5 greatest pitchers ever because of the postseason performances. But because of the postseason's been so bad, people underrate how good he is in the regular season. I think he's probably the greatest ever in that. And so, but he's just always been my guy. I've always loved him. I don't even have a real reason why it started. I just know I always loved him. And he's tied for number 1 on my list.
Yeah. No, I've got a couple in my honorable mention that are like that. Like, how did you start liking this guy? I don't know. I just did. Just do. Do I need another reason?
It just happens.
Yeah, I honestly believe the last pitch I didn't watch him pitch was in 2015. And that's a decade of every single start. And them things start at 10:40 sometimes in Los Angeles on the East Coast. I watched every one of them.
That's true. Yeah. No, that's good. I knew he was going to be 1 or 2. Yeah. I knew he was going to be 1 or 2 for you. All right, Josh. Numero uno, the final one.
Number 1. All right. Greatest athlete in NC State history. The ACC, until recently, I think the record's been broken now, but until recently, he was the ACC's career passing yards record holder, and also happened to play in the NFL for a very long time.
Okay.
It is Phillip Rivers.
I did not expect Phillip Rivers to make number 1 for you.
I didn't either.
It's the first.
Right.
It's the college thing more than the NFL thing, but he was like it was the first jersey I ever got. He was the first NFL player I really pulled for. And I haven't really had an NFL team.
You had Seattle in it.
I've always just liked players.
They won a Super Bowl.
You'll notice that there's a player that didn't make my top 10 athletes of all time.
Yeah, he did.
He got too weird and annoying, and I don't like him. I can't bring myself to like him. So if he was more likable, he would have been on there because he was great at NC State. I still remember his freshman year, we played South Carolina, and he got his ribs broken, and he finished the game, and we almost won. And this was in like 2011 when South Carolina was winning 11 games a year, and State sucked. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Phillip Rivers, just his college highlights are hilarious. I mean, they have Torrey Holt was one of his receivers, NFL all-timer. That guy needs to make the Hall of Fame.
That's a great one.
But yeah, so good. There was he makes made the AFC Championship on a torn ACL, and I think they lost to the Patriots that year, but goes 4,000 yards and like 29 touchdowns on a torn ACL for the entire year. Didn't go get surgery. Like just played the whole year on a torn ACL. It's ridiculous. So 8 million children. His son is a 5-star quarterback, and he just committed.
Phillip Rivers played like 4 months.
So that's what 2031 101.
Phillip Rivers was playing in the NFL 4 months ago.
Yeah,
or 6 months ago, excuse me.
Yeah.
Which is insane that happened. We didn't talk about that enough. But anyways. He was fine.
No.
Yeah.
And he was
fine.
pretty good.
He was fine.
For a 45-year-old
That's good.
quarterback or whatever he is now.
Lena, you said that it also makes me think that we are, side note,
1.
halfway through the NFL offseason.
Yeah.
We're halfway.
We're getting there.
To kick off.
We're getting there.
FYI.
Anyways.
Okay. My number 1, and this will kind of play off Josh's reasoning, is Josh Allen, really could be number one,
Mhm.
maybe should be number one. But I was a bigger college fan than NFL. And Connor Shaw,
Yeah.
who another jersey I have on the wall behind me,
Yep.
he's got to be my number one. He led us to the winningest record in school history, never lost a home game, never lost to Clemson, just unbelievable, gritty player. He wasn't a flashy, put up a ton of stats. You know, he was happy to throw for 123 yards and rush for another 80 yards and a touchdown. He was one of those guys, just gritty. I mentioned earlier, like coming off the bench, fighting through injuries, let us down from 17-0 in the fourth quarter, winning in overtime. The dude was an absolute dog. And again, he was not flashy. Anybody who knows pro football or even college football, like unless you're a South Carolina fan, you don't care about Connor Shaw. You don't know anything about Connor Shaw. But if you grew up watching Connor Shaw, I even saw him at a red light one time. I remember I saw him at a red light and my mom was driving and I look over and I see somebody texting on their phone. And I'm like, why is this idiot texting on their phone? And then the slow realization of who it is sitting beside me at the red light, like, oh my gosh, that's Connor Shaw. It's favorite player of all time. Favorite player. I can't argue it. I love Josh Allen. He's close to. It's Connor Shaw, man.
Yeah. And my other number one, I have two number ones. My other number one, Josh mentioned earlier, David Thompson, one of probably the greatest ACC basketball player ever, but there's two others you could argue. One is Ralph Sampson. He is not my favorite. The other is everyone's least favorite if you're not a Tar Heel fan, Tyler Hansborough, the all-time ACC leading scorer, and it's not even close.
Yep.
As a freshman, he was second-team All-American and then three-time first-team All-American every other year. National Player of the Year, ACC Player of the Year. His senior year, they didn't give him National Player of the Year just because it would have been redundant at that point. But that senior year team he was on in 2009 sleptwalk through the NCAA tournament, smashed everyone on their path, beating Michigan State. Draymond Green's Michigan State, by the way, in the national championship. He went 6-2 career against Duke, never lost at Cameron Indoor. He is the greatest college basketball player of this century. Just again, I will say it's obviously because a lot of the guys go one and done, right? Not everybody stays 4 years. He did stay 4 years. But what he was able to accomplish in college was insane. He could have gone pro after every single season, and he chose to stay every single season. And so for that, he is and always will be my favorite player ever. Number 50, the jersey hangs in the rafters in the Dean Dome. Tyler Hansborough, my GOAT, my king, my favorite athlete of all time, with Clayton Kershaw.
It also pains me to add, not that bad of an NBA player.
And he
had a pretty decent NBA career.
Much malign him like he wasn't good in the NBA. He was fine, right? He wasn't, LeBron, but he was fine. He's also become insanely underrated in terms of how good he was in college basketball. Like, people don't remember him being as good as he was. He averaged 20 for his career, including his freshman year in college. That does not happen. And he was not shooting threes either. He was not shooting threes. He is far and away the ACC's all-time leading scorer. He was, again, I think he's one of the three greatest players in the history of the ACC. I think you might, if you squinted, could argue him at one, though I think the argument loses. But he's my GOAT. Always will be. Had to be.
I love it.
Had to be.
Had to be.
Josh, you got any honorable mentions that were close but didn't make it?
I mean, there's a few NC State guys. Like there's a guy that y'all probably don't know, Tyler Warren. We were dog water.
He averaged like 40,
and not the current Colts tight end.
Yeah,
TJ Warren.
Yeah. No, he had the bubble performance in the NBA, but in college,
he was really good.
I think this was like 2013 or 14. He led the ACC in scoring, mostly because our team was terrible.
Really
but
good.
I think he even led the nation in scoring. He averaged like 24 a game.
Yeah.
It was dumb. There's a few other guys, but he's one that came to mind. he wasn't ever a really good NBA player. He had a good career, but it wasn't like anything special. And we were crap when he was at State. So it was whatever.
I had a few on mine.
Real good
and
player.
one question for Landon was on there. I had DeAnthony Thomas,
Oh, yeah.
LaMichael James.
Oh, yeah.
I loved those
Oregon,
guys
yeah.
when they were at Oregon. That was a ton of fun. That was a ton of. I really liked those Oregon teams back then.
Yeah.
One of my favorite. Like I remember being so hyped for 2011 LSU versus Oregon opening night in Dallas. I think they were playing in Jerry's World. I mean, man, I did like those Oregon teams. I put Michael Vick
Okay.
in my honorable mentions. He came. I had him at 10, and I switched Matt Ryan in.
Yeah.
Because I watched Matt Ryan more.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a few of the current guys that are close, and I hope they get there. I got Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson because we were watching them in college, and now they're obviously exploded in pros. They're awesome. Justin Herbert, I'm a big fan of him. Bijan. I also put Ender Inciarte.
Oh, yeah.
I almost
yeah.
put him in there. He's another jersey I've got hanging on the wall. Ender,
Yep.
I loved him when he was at Atlanta. Won 3 straight Gold Gloves. Ender was the man. I'm a big fan of him.
One of the great names of
And
this
Landon.
century in baseball, Ender Inciarte. Also,
Ender
I
Inciarte.
think had the
Yeah,
most
he-
hits in the league one season. I believe. I'm not sure which season, but I think he led the league in hits.
I
one
think
year.
he did.
Yeah.
He was not a power hitter,
No.
but he was a good hitter.
No.
He could hit some contact for sure.
Yeah, he could
He could hit some
twice and
contact
get
for
it
sure,
hits,
and
but he was good.
yeah. But he was awesome. So I loved Ender Inciarte. And Landon, I had one question, and you might have put him in your honorable mentions. I was surprised I didn't see Sean Taylor
So
on your
so
top 10.
I
thought I would.
So
I thought I would.
have honorable mentions, and then I have the one that broke my heart. And the one that broke my heart, I just couldn't put him at 10. He is locked in at number 11. Sean Taylor is the one that crushes me. Obviously, my first year playing football was his last year with us. He was one of the reasons I wanted to play football. I wanted to play safety because of him. Obviously, taken from us in the middle of his 4th year in the NFL, and he was an outstanding player. And but it just all these other guys, Brady, Jeter, I got to watch so much of them, and I just didn't get to watch as much of him, so I had to leave him off. But
That's
the rest of these honorable mentions are below him. I'll say that. I have a ton of baseball, so I'm not going to mention any of them, but Luke May is an honorable mention for me. Joel Berry is one. Peyton, Brett Favre, maybe Jaden gets there, hopefully. With another deep playoff run, Jaden will be on the list. Bobby Witt Jr. hopefully can get there one day. And then 2 that really did hurt was Devontae Adams and LaDainian Tomlinson. I wanted to find space for them. I just couldn't. Tay's always been my favorite.
They
Y'all
were
know
on my
that.
I had a running list of who I thought might be on yours and LT, and I thought LT for sure would make it.
Yeah.
And Devontae was fringe. I thought he might.
There's
too.
so many baseball guys I felt like I had to put in there. But if we excluded baseball, both of them would have for sure been on the list. So
yeah.
Oh.
This was fun. I enjoyed this.
I'm glad. I didn't know
This was fun.
these about
was a
you guys,
blast.
so I was really excited to hear what you had to say. So, hour and a half, not bad.
Yeah, I thought we would go longer than that. Honestly, I'm impressed with us. We kept it under 2 hours.
Yeah, we did. We sped it.
We
up.
sped it up there with the 10 to 7s.
Yeah, no, we could have spent more time there.
Had to.
If you want me to go through the entire championship rosters of 2010 to 2011 South Carolina baseball, I can. I can tell you moments that each player had, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I like it.
Anything else we want to add before we wrap up?
That's
I know,
it.
Landon, you and I are planning to hit another one
Yep.
here soon. We stopped because your schedule is just crazy during the summer.
Mhm.
So
we'll have
put
one
pause
more.
on it. But you might have a day soon.
One
We'll try to
more,
work
and then
on it.
we'll have a break and be back for the NFL season. So, yep.
I'm excited. Like I said, we're halfway through the off season, so it's gonna. I am so. We're almost there. Alrighty, I reckon that's it. We will catch you guys here soon, hopefully with me and Landon, and maybe Josh will ever grace our presences again. We'll see. We will see.
Hey, maybe this weekend we'll do
Maybe we will.
we'll do
That'd be fun.
something. I don't know. We'll see.
All right, we will catch you guys in the next one.